Thank you, Chair Griffith, and thank you to all of our witnesses. I'm a physician, former nurse, military veteran, and I came to this hearing actually not wanting to be adversarial, but hearing some of the comments from my colleagues on the other side of the aisle has been demoralizing, to say the least. I'm just going to say the MALA-Democrats, Make America Lose Again Democrats, have already forgotten that without price negotiation in Medicare Part D, we developed $4 generic drugs. Walmart came out with $4 generic drugs. Had there been Medicare price negotiation, Medicare Part D, that would have never happened. I've already met with companies who, with all due respect, saying that generics and biosimilars will bring to competition, but generics and biosimilars also suffer under the IRA and will not come out sooner. And innovation in rare and orphan diseases, places where many of us have worked for decades to get them to the marketplace, whose parent with Alzheimer's is going to suffer, whose child with cancer, whose glioblastoma multiforme or lung cancer is not going to be treated because we will not bring innovation and drugs to the marketplace. What cures will not be advanced because we don't have research and development and innovation in this country, which will go overseas just as the drug market in Europe came to the United States. You know, it seems strange to me to say that as a negotiation with Medicaid, with Medicare, I don't know, is a decapitated horse in your bed a voluntary negotiation? I don't think so. Lower prices, and if you believe my colleagues on the other side of the aisle that this is going to lead to lower costs in Medicare and lower prices for drugs, well, I seem to recall in 2010 hearing that premiums for your health insurance were going to go down $2,500, and if you liked your doctor, you can keep your doctor. And I had patients who could not keep their doctor under that miraculous form that was going to save cost, which did not. So to get off my soapbox now, Mr. Crowley, much of what's not appreciated is precisely what you talked about earlier, and that's the time and cost of the research and development programs that fail, that do not go on to be approved by the FDA and into the marketplace. And can you comment briefly on how some of those programs that your company has advanced ultimately failed, and share with us a sense of the amount you invested in these in time and dollars?
Thank you very much, Congresswoman. We at Amicus have invested about $2 billion in research and development and drug programs for our small emerging company. We've had one drug approved in the United States for Fabry disease. We're on the cusp of having a second now approved for Pompe disease. We've had several other diseases that we researched. Epidermolysis bullosa, a genetic devastating skin disease. The skin on these children falls off. We had a program, we invested hundreds of millions of dollars. We really wanted it to work. We thought the science was very strong. It failed its pivotal study. We couldn't move on. We enabled the field, and other drugs have now been approved. We'll obviously never recoup any of that investment. Even in Pompe disease, for the first 4.5 years of our company, we were developing a program. It went in the clinic, and it failed its phase 1/2 study. We had to go back to the drawing board and come up with another idea. It took 7 more years after that to put in the clinic. And all in on that program, I've spent well over $500 million on this second-generation program, and we've yet to see any revenue from that product. Hopefully we will. So hopefully it gives you some sense that, you know, when we've heard a lot about big pharma and pharmaceutical companies are an important part of this ecosystem, but really the heart and soul of medical research are our great academic institutions, our biotechnology companies at the core, more than 3,000 companies. So, you know, I'm proud of what we do. We need more science, and we need it faster, and we need it for everybody.
You know, one of the other unrealized deficits in this bill was that CMS released guidance, revised guidance, clarifying that a drug with more than one designation for a rare disease or condition will not qualify for the orphan drug exclusion, even if the drug has not been approved for additional indications. Unfortunately, by making orphan products with a second designation eligible for drug price negotiation, this provision will disincentivize further investment in rare disease research and development, and even not rare diseases. And I'll give you an example what would suffer under this bill. Avastin, which was a drug that was developed for the treatment of colon cancer, ophthalmologists thought, well, you know, if this drug is affecting the vascular system, perhaps we could use it for wet macular degeneration and save vision. This is a drug that would have been excluded under this provision. And do you know how many people's vision we have saved? How many people we have prevented from going blind and now are leading productive lives and still working because we were able to use a drug developed for one indication for another indication? That is a real life example of how the IRA fails people. Thank you, and I yield back.